Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Georgian Room. Those of you on Zoom will see there's a different background today. We are, in fact, in the Georgian Room. Welcome to everyone. Welcome to our weekly celebration of service. I'm Sally Gaskell, your current president. And I'd like to introduce Glenda Murray, who will give today's reflection.
Thank you, President Sally. When I signed up to lead the reflection today, I knew I wanted to focus on something both historical and timely, and maybe even relate the reflection to having Eric here as the chamber exec, as our speaker today. And then I realized I could tie most of those things together by talking about Ben Beckovitz, who was our 19th club president. And no, almost none of you ever knew him. He was the president in 1936-37. Ben came to Bloomington as a child with his parents, Abraham and Anna Beckovitz. The parents came to Indianapolis in 1887 from White Russia, what we now call Poland. Jewish people in search of a better and safer future. And then in 1893, after 6 years in Indianapolis, they moved to Bloomington, when Ben was 6. There were few Jewish families in Bloomington, and regular services were not available until the Hillel Foundation opened in the 1930s. So they had to travel back and forth to Indianapolis in those early years of the 1900s. Ben may have worked for his father in the junk business, and then in the iron business, which became Thel Iron and Metal, if you're trying to relate to something closer to the more recent past, before Ben and his brother opened the Lou Ben apparel shop in 1909. Lou left and opened another store, but Ben and his wife operated the Lou Ben until selling the store and retiring in 1957. That's almost 50 years of a downtown business store in Bloomington. And then she died in 1958. Ben was active in the community, which I thought was one of the reasons he was a perfect example for today, including membership in Rotary, where he served as our president, as I said, in 36-37. He was a member and a trustee of the Elks and the Improved Order of the Redmen, one of those other organizations that doesn't really exist anymore very much. He was a former member of the Anti-Tuberculosis Society, for which we are grateful that we don't have to have anymore, those societies anymore. He served many years at the Salvation Army and 12 years as their president, so that when he died, the Salvation Army minister was the one who conducted the service. And he died in 1969 in South Bend, and is buried in South Bend, where his wife was from. But I wanted to touch on his life as a newcomer to America, on his success in business in Bloomington, and on his service as a leader in the community, because that's an example of what we all want to do as Rotarians. I also served as your greeter today because one of the things Ben did in his later years, I'm guessing in that decade from when he retired from the store and when he died, he served regularly as the club greeter. So it's speculation on my part, but I'm thinking that as a retiree and a widower, that he appreciated that chance to be a greeter as well as to see people at the Rotary meeting just in general. So I want to remind all of us that fellowship was one of the things that Paul Harris imagined when he created the Rotary Club. And I want to remind us to reach out and see who else we can help and be friendly with in our club and in our community. Thank you.
Glenda, thank you so much for being our historian and for that glimpse into Ben. Hank Walter is standing by to introduce today's guests.
Thanks, Sally. We have 3 guests today, not surprisingly invited by Jim Bright. Thank you very much, Jim. So if you wouldn't mind standing so we can recognize you after I read your name. First guest is Michelle Cohen, Executive Director of the Lake Monroe Water Fund. Aaron Dobrin from Edward Jones. And Clara Stanley from Brown County Rotary. Thank you very much.
And Joy Harder, do we have any guests on Zoom?
Hi, everyone. No, we are all Rotarians on Zoom today.
Okay, 100%. Thank you.
100%.
Thanks to our tech team, Alan Barker in the corner and Michael Shermas. Thank you, Joy, for being our Zoom host for the last many months. Our roundabout reporter this month is Bob Salzberg. Glenda, thank you for the reflection and for being our greeter. And Hank, thank you for introducing our guests. And to the rest of you, we do have openings for all of these positions, including tech team, coming up. We have a couple of notable member anniversaries this week. Alan Barker and Dave Meyer got inducted on the same day. Who knew? 8 years ago. Congratulations. Ron Barnes has a brief announcement, and while he comes to the podium, I'd like to congratulate Joy Harder for being profiled in the current issue of Bloom magazine. Joy and her new business.
Thank you, President Sally. Just wanted to have you mark your calendars for July 30th. That's going to be the supply drive for the teacher warehouse. And again, the Exchange Club of Bloomington has already volunteered to handle staples. So we're going to need door greeters at Kroger. We have Kroger North, Kroger, Gucci Kroger on College Mall Drive, and again, Kroger South. So we will use Survey Genius or Sign Up Genius in the next few weeks to get you to sign up, but we really need all hands on deck, July 30th. It's a Saturday, so mark your calendars. We'll have 2-hour shifts. Thank you.
And my final announcement is the next Rotary Book Club selection, which is Canary in the Coal Mine, a forgotten rural community, a hidden epidemic, and a lone doctor battling for life, health, and soul of the people by Dr. William Cook. This is an account of the epicenter of the opioid epidemic that took place not far away from us, 60 miles, in Austin, Indiana. Joyce Poling has already read the book. She says it's a little grim, but she recommends it. You're all welcome. We're going to meet July 13th at 7 p.m. at the home of Cindy Neathart and on Zoom. So the book again is Canary in the Coal Mine by Dr. William Cook. And now we have a new member induction. So will Dave Meyer and Bitter DeWeese please come to the podium?
Thank you, President Sally. It is my honor to help induct Bitter DeWeese into the club. So let me begin by telling you a little bit about Bitter. Bitter has worked at Stonebelt for 31 years and was recently hired as CEO upon Leslie Green's retirement. Throughout her career, she has been involved with all the services offered by Stonebelt, including residential, clinical, habilitation, and employment services. She's most known for her active role in helping people with disabilities find jobs in their communities. Having a job is part of our identity and not only provides an income, but also improves our self-esteem. It also shapes how the community sees people with disabilities as capable and contributing. She truly believes everyone is capable of working and support from Stone Belt can help people and employers connect to benefit both parties. Bitta has lived in Bloomington since attending IU in the middle 1980s and earned her bachelor's degree in psychology. She has been married to her husband, Scott, for 32 years. She has a stepdaughter, granddaughter, 2 sons, and a daughter-in-law. She's very excited to be joining Rotary, as are we, and meet new people and get more involved in her community. Okay, let me progress to the more formal part of our induction. Bitta, on behalf of the board and membership of the Bloomington Rotary Club, it is a great pleasure to welcome you as the newest member of our club. We look forward to your fellowship that you will share, as well as your participation in many club projects that make our community, country, and world a better place. Though Rotary is not a political organization, Rotarians are vitally concerned with good citizenship and election of strong leaders to public office. While Rotary is not a religious organization, it's built on those eternal principles that have served as a moral compass for people throughout the ages. Rotary is an organization of business and professional people pledged to uphold the highest ethical and moral standards. Rotarians believe that worldwide fellowship and peace can be achieved when people unite with the Rotary motto of service above self. Rotary activities exemplify the charity and sacrifice that one would expect from people who believe that they have a responsibility to help others. Bitta, you have been chosen for membership in the Bloomington Rotary Club because your fellow members believe you to be a leader in the community and because you possess the qualities to champion the message and principles of Rotary. You are a representative of your vocation within our club and community. You now become an ambassador of Bloomington Rotary, carrying the ideals of service to all within your specific sphere of influence. Our community will know and judge Rotary by your character and service. We will also look to you for inspiration as we strive to become better Rotarians. So now let us proceed with the pen. We ask that you wear your Rotary pen with pride not only to all Rotary functions, but in your many endeavors as a symbol of your commitment to Rotary ideals and recognition of your contribution toward a better world. Fellow Rotarians, please rise and welcome our newest Rotarian, Bitta DeWeese. Do we need a picture?
And if that wasn't exciting enough, we're now going to talk about the Chicago Cubs. I've got 2 tickets here, and this is my debut as a professional, non-professional auctioneer, so please be kind and bear with me. Alana's coming forward to get me in the, yeah, hi. Hi. Everyone on Zoom, you are more than welcome to join in the bidding, and somehow Alan will convey to me the message of what you might be bidding. Okay, so what we have here are 2 tickets in section 212 on the aisle for any night game this year. This is my understanding. Judy Witt, thank you for donating them via your basket from the district conference, which came from the Columbus Rotary Club. So we have 2 tickets valued at $99 each, plus a Texas Roadhouse gift card for $25 for your meal on the way. Okay, what do we think? Shall we start at $100? Who would like to pay $100? Yes, Jim Bright. Anybody else? $150. Yes. Liz Vital. Anybody? $200. We're going to go to $200. It's not even face value, people. $200 for these tickets. $150? $200 from Jim Bright. Really? Only 2 people want to go to a Cubs game? Okay, okay. Weekend in Chicago? Won't cost you anything. Yeah, weekend, absolutely. Night games. Where was I? 200. Do I need to go to 250? Is that what I do now? 250. Yes, Liz. Oh my gosh, 300. Do I hear 300? Mm-hmm. How about 350 over in the corner? Oh, Zoom? Oh, that's a lamb. Okay. $300 for the Chicago Cubs, plus the Texas Roadhouse. Going once, going twice. Okay, did we say 250? Was that it? Was it Liz or was it Jim? Congratulations, Liz Feidel. 250 it is. Oh. I asked Mike Baker to do this, but he's out of town. And the great news is that $250 is a wonderful down payment for our club's archival project, which is headed up by the indefatigable Kay Cruikshank, and we are going to be saving all of our historical documents for posterity in archival correct boxes. So it's expensive. It's about $1,000. So thank you, thank you, thank you. And with that excitement, it's now my pleasure to invite Jim Bright to the podium.
Okay, hello everyone. It is my pleasure to welcome to Rotary today Eric Spoonmore, who's president and CEO of the local chamber. Eric joined the chamber in December of last year, and prior to that, he had served for 6 years as the elected District 4 representative on the Monroe County Council. Now, in addition to his service on the County Council, Eric has more than a decade of experience working as an administrator for the IU Kelley School of Business. He received his bachelor's and his master's of public affairs degrees from IU, where he studied management and public administration. Eric leads a team of professionals dedicated to advancing the mission of the chamber and supporting regional economic vitality through member services, advocacy, and strategic partnerships. Eric says the best advice he's ever received was this: that people will eventually forget the things you did or didn't do, but they will always remember the way you made them feel. In his leisure time, Eric enjoys traveling, reading, playing golf, and cheering on the Indiana Hoosiers. So the title of his talk today, Better Business, Better Community, How Government and Business Synergy Lead to Best Community Outcomes. Fellow Rotarians, please join me in a warm Rotary welcome for Eric Spoonmore.
I gotta say, I'm very impressed with the tech team. I know how difficult these hybrid meetings can be to pull off, and this is a very sophisticated setup here, so I think we're all set. And hello, good afternoon, everyone. Eric Spoonmore. It's really nice to join you all today in the Indiana Memorial Union, one of the great iconic buildings in all of Indiana. I got married in this building back in 2007, so this place is very near and dear to my heart, and it always will be. And so thanks for having me here today, and I look forward to sharing a little bit more about me and what my plans are for the chamber. So I'm a little over 5 months into the job as president of the Greater Bloomington Chamber of Commerce, and I can tell you it's been quite a whirlwind since I got started back on December 1st, but things are really going great. I'm just delighted to be leading the chamber and to have this opportunity to make a difference for our members and for our community and to really work toward building a more thriving business environment here in Greater Bloomington. So for those who don't know me, I'll tell you a little about my background and how I got here. I do have kind of a non-traditional chamber background, but sometimes non-traditional can be kind of a good thing, I think. So I arrived in Bloomington back in 2000 as an undergraduate at IU. I was born and raised on the west side of Indianapolis. My dad was a school teacher, and my mom was a nurse. And so as a kid, I had the great fortune of being raised by two terrific parents who dedicated their lives to helping people every day, often in thankless ways. And so they set a great example for me to follow. And thanks to Dad, I knew that Indiana University was about the only college option for me. Really didn't have much of a choice in that. In fact, IU was the only school I applied to. So I came down here for college. As you can see, I never really left. I finished my undergraduate degree, then went straight into the Master of Public Affairs program over at the O'Neill School, or what we formerly called SPIA at the time. And in those programs, I focused my undergraduate studies in public management, and then I concentrated in local government management for my master's program. And so at that point in my life, I was really interested in becoming a city manager. A lot of people in Indiana don't even know what a city manager is. I was certain that city management would be my long-term career path. I mean, after all, I earned a degree in local government management, spent 2 years of my life studying the discipline. And as a 22-year-old graduate student, I had these grandiose plans of someday becoming a city manager for a big city like Dallas, Texas, or Phoenix or Cincinnati. But like a lot of things, didn't quite pan out the way I had planned, although it certainly didn't help that the council manager form of government is for the most part illegal in the state of Indiana, and the vast majority of those career opportunities exist in the other 49 states of the union. You can probably sense I've got my opinions about the state of Indiana's resistance towards the council manager form of government, but that's a whole other topic for a different day, and Jim told me we only have 20 minutes here, so I don't want to get anybody upset. Anyway, while I was here as an IU student, I also met my wife, Lindsay. Now, Lindsay is a Bloomington native, very proud Bloomington High School North alumna. She also went to IU, completed her undergraduate and graduate degrees here, and we met here as students working out at the old McCree's Deli on the east side. And I can say with absolute certainty that meeting Lindsay and convincing her to build a life together with me has by far and away been my greatest achievement since arriving in Bloomington about 22 years ago. She's not here today, but I'd imagine she'd probably agree to that assertion as well. So anyway, I mentioned earlier that I once had aspirations of becoming a city manager, but Lindsay and I just couldn't stand the thought of leaving Bloomington. We wanted to stay here and raise our family here. We knew that this place was the only place for us, and so we made Bloomington our permanent home. And after I finished graduate school, I got a great job at IU at the Kelley School of Business, and while I was working at Kelley, it wasn't too long before I got that local government itch again. So in 2015, I decided to try my hand at politics and run for office. And that's when I became the District 4 representative on the Monroe County Council, where I served until this past December. And I truly loved serving on the council. And you know, it was my political experiences on the council over the last 6 years that really made me realize how much I loved serving the community. My district covered a large portion of the downtown Bloomington area. And so through that work, I was able to get to know a lot of our small businesses and develop some good relationships with those folks. I also really enjoyed all the economic development deals that we worked on to attract new employers to Monroe County and grow jobs and investment here. Through all of that, I could really tell that this work made a huge difference to our employers and to our residents, and it made a big difference in the quality of life for our residents and our workers. And that was very meaningful and rewarding work for me to be a part of as an elected official. So it was kind of serendipitous when the Chamber's leadership role opened last summer. And the more I thought about it, I knew that I needed to pursue this opportunity because this is the kind of work that I love doing. I love making a difference, and the Greater Bloomington Chamber of Commerce in its 106 years of existence is certainly a difference-making organization in our community. And so now that I have this terrific opportunity, I've been getting a lot of questions about my plans as the Chamber's leader. And you know, for me, the priority areas are going to be our membership and putting consistent focus on business members and really recognizing that small businesses are instrumental to our local economy and the quality of life here in Bloomington. So we'll focus a lot of our efforts on regaining the members that have dropped off during the COVID-19 crisis, and then really delivering on the value proposition of membership so that we can retain our current members and maintain a strong rate of retention into the future. And along those lines, I think it'll be very important that we do everything we can to foster a welcoming environment to current and future members from all cultures and backgrounds. We'll continue to build on our progress in these areas and further develop chamber-focused diversity, equity, and inclusion programs and training that we can offer as a member benefit. Those have been very popular. And so through that, I believe we'll be able to really expand our reach and boost membership rates. We know there's strength in numbers, and our strategy will always be looking at ways to grow membership. And that's really exciting for me because there's so much potential for growth. And that strength in membership means that our chamber can become even more effective and influential in our community. And I say this a lot, but it's true. We are all in this together. And the Greater Bloomington Chamber of Commerce has a place for all of our local businesses and organizations and employers. And we want to strengthen those partnerships because that makes our community stronger and better. And as the voice of business in our region, the Chamber is engaged and involved in so many areas that impact what we love most about our community. Our belief in better business, better community recognizes that we all can prosper when opportunities for professional and personal growth are available to all, and that a thriving business sector is necessary for achieving the quality of life that residents deserve here. We also believe that our best outcomes occur when business and government is working together to achieve shared community goals. For example, and I see a couple of my former county council colleagues here, Monroe County government and the city of Bloomington swiftly responded to the COVID-19 crisis by creating emergency financial assistance programs targeted for our small businesses. And this was back in 2020, before the federal government was providing any relief. As a result, that immediate and responsive action taken by our local officials made a huge difference to small businesses in Monroe County who needed help the most. And for me, it's going to be very important that the Chamber of Commerce continues to prioritize progress in our community through high levels of engagement and collaboration with elected leaders while advocating for economic development initiatives that will bring Greater Bloomington to new heights. So I'll outline here a few of the key opportunities that I think our private and public sectors can achieve success together on here in the community. This is by no means an exhaustive list, but it does represent, to me, some of the most pressing issues that we really need to act fast on. So first, let's talk about housing availability. We're fortunate to have a significant number of quality job openings in our community, and as you may have heard, Catalent recently announced they plan to add 1,000 new jobs in the Greater Bloomington area to its Bloomington operations. Those jobs will pay an average wage of over $30 an hour. This is a huge impact to the community, but a shortage of existing housing options presents significant challenges to our workers, our employers, and to local government too. All the economic development research demonstrates clearly that affordable and stable housing are connected to positive health, education, and economic outcomes for residents. And a healthy supply of housing adds even more benefits to residents in the form of enhanced local government services that are funded through the collection of additional property and income taxes. So, you know, the bottom line is we need more housing options here in Bloomington and Monroe County. It's really imperative for supporting the job and wage growth that we all want to see for the region. And number two, enhanced public transit services. For years, our community and elected leaders have been talking about expanded transit services from the city of Bloomington to the educational employment hubs located on the west side out at Park 48. I know, I was one of those elected leaders talking about that. It was very difficult to ever get anything done. Major employers like Cook, Baxter, Tassus, Keyhee, and their employees would greatly benefit from these expanded transit options. Ivy Tech and the students it trains also stand to benefit from these enhanced transit services. Historically, the challenge has always been about funding. However, there is now some real hope on the horizon. Just recently, the city raised the countywide local income tax rather significantly, and a substantial portion of that new revenue will be devoted to expanded transit options. This is exciting, and it's promising to hear that city and county officials are now talking about ways to collaborate for bringing this expanded service to the Park 48 business and education hub of our community. The Chamber looks forward to partnering with elected leaders to finally make this a reality. Next is our convention center expansion plans. So we strongly believe, with a significant portion of the community, that the expansion of the Monroe Convention Center in downtown Bloomington will bring a transformative boost to our local economy. The project will further activate our vibrant downtown, will generate new jobs, It's going to attract visitors and it'll support many nearby enterprises. And since 2018, the Monroe County Food and Beverage Tax has collected over $12 million to support construction of the expanded convention center in downtown Bloomington. Now, haven't had much progress, not even a shovel in the ground, I don't think, but the resources are in place to make this project successful. The chamber and our members are eager to collaborate with county and city officials on achieving this long-awaited, much anticipated community-wide goal, and I'm optimistic that 2022 is the year we will achieve meaningful progress on our convention center expansion plans. And then finally, public safety. So we agree with locally elected leaders that the most fundamental role of government is to provide for the safety and welfare of its residents. Fully funding our public safety operations and personnel across a wide spectrum of services is critical to the welfare of our citizens and the vitality of our businesses. The Chamber of Commerce looks forward to working with elected leaders and community members to support innovative solutions that will match our existing public safety challenges with the trained experts who are best equipped to solve them. Again, there's a lot of hope on the horizon with this, with the city's passage of the local income tax that will be devoted a large portion of that to enhancing our public safety services here in the community. And so just to kind of wrap up here before we get to some questions, hopefully I've given you a better sense of some things that I want the chamber to be focused on here in the months ahead. And I really do think there's endless potential for our community and our local economy and businesses to achieve long-term sustainable success. I look forward to playing a role in all of that and being a strong community partner as we work towards these shared community goals together. So thank you very much, and would be happy to answer any questions that you all have. So hand in the back first. And we'll take questions on Zoom as well.
There was a very provocative column in the Indianapolis Star yesterday that took the state to task for keeping taxes low and therefore Indiana less attractive. What can you do? It in effect is making Indiana the Mississippi of the Midwest. What can you do to address that issue from Bloomington?
Well, a lot of this is quality of life stuff that will attract talent into your community. And I do think Indiana may kind of lag behind a lot of some of the other states that we're seeing, particularly Colorado or Massachusetts or California, Texas. There's just a lot going on in those places that is drawing in young talent, educated talent, especially in the technology sectors. And they want those quality of life amenities, and that's what tax dollars can pay for. We just recently, what was it, last week, Jeff? The city raised the local income tax here locally to what did it go up to? 0.2035%, I believe. So there's a 51% increase in the local income tax rate, which will provide about $14 million to the city of Bloomington to use for economic development purposes. The county will also get about $10 million or so, I believe, for its to be able to use for various initiatives as well too. So, I think the city administration and the city council totally understand the need for these quality of life amenities, and it sounds like they've got a plan for that. You can always agree or disagree on the amount of taxes that should be paid for these things, but I trust that they've got a good plan in place that will go a long way to making Bloomington at the local level a more desirable and attractive place for talent to come. Tell us about any step the chamber is doing to improve education of the workforce. So, really our main workforce development program is through our Success School. We have a lot of program, and that's going to be more for younger students at the high school level and even at the junior high level, where we're developing them and getting them interested in different career paths, and so in different fields. STEM is a big area for us, and we have a lot of employers that are really looking to develop that pipeline of talent. So we put a lot of focus on the STEM fields in partnership with MCCSC, as well as Richland Bean Blossom School Corporation. We've got a great partnership with both of those schools to get students interested and motivated and wanting to pursue some of these careers that are either manufacturing or would go on to earn a 4-year college degree and could go work in the life sciences industry. So that's our main workforce development tool that we have and program with the Chamber right now, and it's a very successful program. We've been doing some great work there. Katie Sensabaugh is the director of the Success School, and if anyone would like to learn more about partnership opportunities with that, let me know. I'll get you in touch with Katie, and you guys can talk a little bit more. Yes, right here.
Thank you for a great speech. A quick comment and a quick question, both related. The comment is that on your tables, you'll see on affordable housing, there's going to be a meeting sponsored by the Center for Rural Engagement. A lot of you know Carrie Thompson, who was with Monroe County Habitat for Humanity, is running that meeting this Sunday at Switchyard Park from 1:30 to 4:30 to talk exactly about what you're talking about, community meeting. The question is, I know there's not enough time to go through all the barriers, but could you identify 1 or 2 major barriers to why we're having difficulty getting affordable housing in both the city and the county? Thank you.
Yeah, and I don't know that there's any real definitive answer to that right now. I've got some theories. I think that, I would really like, I think the opportunities for housing right now exist in the county. There's a lot more land there to build on, and I would like to see our county commissioners allow a little bit more development of housing. And I think, what we're talking about more than anything, what I hear from our members and larger employers that are looking for talent is, their employees want single-family homes. They would call this workforce housing, but something that has a front yard, a backyard, a place where their kids and their pets can play. They don't necessarily want to live in apartments. And so finding the way to be able to have more of these units of housing available out in the county, I think is really important. The other thing that I think is motivating or exacerbating the problem here locally is perhaps Indiana University, the effect of that on the rents. And so we have very high rents in Bloomington compared to anywhere else in the state of Indiana. Which translates also, I think, my theory is that those high rents then translate into high home prices because people are making choices between renting or buying homes. And when you're renting at $2,000 a month for a 2-bedroom apartment, which is not unheard of here in Bloomington, you can get a house mortgage payment for $1,750, and maybe that house is a $300,000 house that anywhere else in Indiana would be a $250,000 house. And so I think the rental prices are really kind of motivating some of these home price issues that we're seeing in the elevated valuations. But that's just my theory. I don't, it would be an interesting case study to kind of look at why Bloomington is so unique compared to other communities around the state. Charlotte, yeah.
I'm glad that's raised, that question is raised, because we have at least 3 constituents or large constituent groups that are factors that we have to, that are at play here, the university, the county, and the city. And it seems to me they're not working together, they're working at odds against each other. Is there some way that the chamber can become a matchmaker there, a peacemaker?
Well, I think, great question, Charlotte, and an excellent suggestion. And I think, for me, that is exactly what I want to do. And we're making some progress with the city and the county. Part of that, I feel like we're having some very good discussions and on some different things right now. But Indiana University absolutely is a big piece of the equation. And I think the chamber does have a real role to play in all of this. You know, like I said earlier, we're all in it together. And, you know, the chamber can facilitate a lot of these community conversations that need to be had for us to make some progress. So we're working on it. It takes time. You know, this is all relationship stuff. And that's something I learned in my time in politics, and is that everything is all about relationships. You're constantly working to advance the relationship, and relationships take time. And so don't expect overnight results, but we're moving the ball forward, I think. But absolutely, we need to all do a better job of engaging IU, I think.
Eric, can we do the one online? Sometimes the business community is perceived as being against the faith community in terms of issues like homelessness. How can these segments work better together on the tough issues?
Well, I think, you know, the issue of homelessness is, we're all concerned about that. And, you know, we want to approach this as compassionately as we all can. You know, there are, I think, certain behaviors that, you know, a community just can't tolerate. And you have to, and that's regardless of if you don't live in a house or if you do. And so we have to focus on, you know, making sure that we're not allowing certain behaviors to kind of drive people away from the community. And that is, you know, really, really important. But I do think that we want to, you know, be as compassionate as we can and finding solutions to this problem. We've got some great work being done in the community right now through United Way. I know our city and county governments are very much concerned about this and devoting resources to finding solutions. And the chamber supports all of that. And, you know, we want to be partners in developing solutions for sure.
So we talk a lot about things that are going wrong, things that we could do better. Could you talk about the Catalent deal and the city, what the city and chamber were involved in? Catalent has facilities all over the country, but yet they chose Bloomington for their big enlargement. So please tell us about that if you can.
Yeah, you know, I think the Bloomington Economic Development Corporation was much more involved in making that deal happen. And I'm sure you all know Jen Pearl and her team. She's terrific. We've got a great relationship with the BEDC, but they deserve a lot of the credit for making that deal happen. Of course, the chamber supported, you know, everything that kind of led up to that, and we certainly supported, you know, the city coming up with economic development incentives, as well as the county, to attract those jobs. And it's important. It was a very competitive process. I think the stakeholders involved wanted to make sure that we could put the best deal together as possible because of the huge long-term impact that this will have on our local economy. We want to see median wages rise in Bloomington, Monroe County, and our region. When that happens, good things will follow. And this certainly does that. You know, when you're talking about jobs that pay on average $30 an hour, and you've got 1,000 new ones, that is material to the long-term health and sustainability of the local economy. So we were supportive of all the measures that were taken to make all that happen. I know those things don't happen overnight either, so there's a lot of people kind of waiting on pins and needles for the announcement, but we're just so pleased to have that partnership with Catalent, and hopefully that will spur more as other companies and organizations see Catalent's success. They will see Bloomington and our region as a place that is business friendly, and as a place that has the talent they need to meet their objectives. And in the meantime, you know, we get a lot of new jobs, and when those jobs are here, living in Monroe County, the houses are here, they pay property taxes here, they pay their income taxes here. That helps provide those dollars that we need for those quality of life improvements that will make Bloomington, and it's just this cycle that really kind of works in our favor. So that's kind of the long-term goal, but I was really pleased to see how things shaped up with Catalent, for sure.
Hi, I'm Clara. I'm from Brown County, but I had a really unique chance to talk with the Brown County officer, the veterans officer working in Brown County. He lives in Bloomington. He shared his living environment. He told me that new mayor is very aggressive, making Bloomington like urban city. And he shared that he and his neighbors, he's been there for generations. And then people living in rural area, they feel kind of threatened, being kind of pushed away, being city like being more like, I don't know what it is. So, I mean, for his, because I'm going to talk to him in some time. So if you can share your some perspective about that, I'll be happy to deliver the message to him.
Boy, that's a loaded question for sure. Boy, where do I start? I'm gonna play it safe here and say, you know, we've got elections for a reason. We have democracy, and you know, we elect leaders to make decisions. These are very, you know, everybody has a different opinion on, you know, how we want to see growth in a community, and you know, how far out we want to see that expand. But I can tell you that these elections are so important at the local level, and it's disappointing and saddening to me to see such low levels of turnout in our local elections like what we had last week. Only 12% of the eligible voters going to vote for the local leaders that make the decisions that impact your lives the most. Everybody wants to vote for the President of the United States. Everybody's lining up to go vote for the President of the United States. I think we've only had one of them visit Bloomington in like the last 50 years, but nobody really wants to go out and vote for the local officials who make these important decisions that impact everybody so much, and they impact our businesses, they impact our workers, they impact your lives. And that's, to me, just, I don't know what the solution is to that, but get out and vote. And that's all I can say. Go vote. Yeah. Thank you very much.
Eric, wonderful job. Thank you so much for sharing your insights, and you are clearly off and running in your new job. In recognition of your talk today, we will be giving thank you, Dave, a contribution to Tandem Birthing Center. It's a new nonprofit in Bloomington. Next week, our speaker will be Mark Pilar, whose topic is 9/11. Welcome to your new job. On the morning of 9/11, Mark, currently a member of the Columbus Rotary Club, was beginning a new job in the Pentagon as a U.S. Air Force Major General when the hijacked American Airlines Flight 77 crashed into the headquarters building for the Department of Defense. Mark will talk about 9/11 and his work as mobilization assistant to the Commander-in-Chief for the U.S. Strategic Command. Looking forward to that. One other thing before we close. This afternoon, or sometime soon, you'll be receiving a survey asking if you're going to be able to attend the All Rotary Picnic on Saturday, May 28th. That's a Memorial Day weekend. This is your opportunity to welcome spring, say goodbye to spring. Spring is almost done. Welcome summer, and more importantly, to say hello to the visiting members of the Palo Alto Rotary Clubs who will be here as part of the sibling city relationship. So show of hands, by the by, about who is planning to attend. Great, wonderful. Please do fill out the survey before any time elapses. Okay, it is time to close our meeting, and shall we do the four-way test? Of the things we think, say, or do, is it the truth? Is it fair to all concerned? Will it build goodwill
and better friendship?
Fourth, will it be
beneficial to all concerned?
Fifth,
And fifth,
Is it
is it fun?